Hello, and welcome back to Life Lessons with Sheila. I am so glad that you're here. And welcome to a Tuesday edition of Am I the Asshole? Church edition. This is episode number 4. I have other episodes in the religion, kind of Am I the Asshole questions. They are listed in the description box below or on one of the iCards above. The first question is, am I the asshole for yelling at 3 old church ladies? So, before you come after me with the torches and pitchforks, please be aware that I did not just randomly pick out 3 old church ladies to berate. After the worst of COVID ended and people started going out and doing stuff again, I started getting a ridiculous amount of people showing up at my door trying to sell stuff to me. These things included all sorts of different things. It got to the point where I seldom had a week go by that I didn't get somebody at my door at least 2 to 3 times a week. I do not like people showing up at my house unannounced, especially ones that I don't know, and I work in the evening and into the night, so I'm sleeping during the day, and these people always end up waking me up. I got a couple of the basic no soliciting signs, but people either weren't seeing them or just outright chose to ignore them. Finally, about 6 months ago, I had a huge sign made about 2.5 feet wide by 4 feet tall, black background with red letters, and stuck it on my front door. And this is what it reads: absolutely no solicitation. I work at night, so if you bang on my door right now, you're going to wake me up and will not like the version of me you meet. I don't need my trees trimmed. I cut my own grass. I already have internet. My car is not for sale, and I'm not looking to find Jesus. Unless you're from the USPS, UPS, FedEx, or Amazon, do not beat on my door. This has worked fine until a few days ago. For some extra context, I was on 18 of 21 straight day at work. Long story, and I had only went to bed just 2 hours earlier. It's about 9:30 a.m. and I hear somebody beating at my door, and the moment later they start ringing the doorbell. I stumble out of bed, put on just enough clothes to be decent, and go look out the door to see 3 white-haired old ladies that looked to be in their 60s or 70s. I open the door looking what had to be half drunk and half crazed and clearly pissed, and very bluntly asked them what they wanted. The first words out of their mouth are something about being from some church and trying to spread the word of this or that. At this point, I just very bluntly cut them off and tell them this. So I'm going to assume that at least one of you ladies can't read, right? Don't answer that. More of a rhetorical question. So here's my question, assuming that all 3 of you can read. I'm wondering how you all missed a gigantic sign on my door that blatantly says absolutely no solicitation, and specifically mentions your kind as I pointed to the part about not looking for Jesus. To make a long story short, I got very loud and frankly quite belligerent and yelled at them to get the hell off my porch and told them I wasn't looking to find Jesus, but I was going to show them the devil if they ever beat on my door again. One of them said they felt my attitude was uncalled for, and I told them that beating on my door when I had a sign clearly stating that not to was uncalled for. I've told this story to a few people and opinions have been very split about it. Am I the asshole? What are your opinions? I would love to know. Put them down in the comments below. Comment number 1, not the asshole. You were specific, and the old ladies have definitely understood your sign, but decided to give it a go, because who on earth will not smile and listen to 3 old and nice ladies? I get it, Christianity is a missionary religion, but that doesn't give its followers the right to invade yours or anyone else's privacy, which starts by knocking on random doors, even without signs, and harassing them with their BS. Comment number 2, you are not the asshole. I like to say that in my Maury, you are not the father voice. Your sign was quite clear. They were warned. They ignored the warning. They got what they deserved. Edited to add, I've always wondered just what kind of bonus points these folks earn for recruiting new congregate donors for their church. Maybe it depends on just what the new people bring to the congregation offering plate. Ouch, that one hurts. Comment number 3, not the asshole. They were very disrespectful of your wishes. While I'm all for respecting your elders, I feel it should go both ways. You expressed that you wanted to be left alone during the day in plain writing, and they chose to ignore that. As someone who used to work nights and slept during the day, I completely understand unleashing the beast when being rudely awoken by solicitors or Jehovah's Witnesses. Those are the worst. I'm completely on your side. Here are my thoughts. As a homeowner who lives in a standard neighborhood where you have rows upon rows of houses, I can understand why it's tempting for any solicitors to go from door to door. It could be a lucrative to any business or organization. However, she clearly had the sign on her door, and the older women clearly pursued her anyway. I can understand if they rang the doorbell once and then seen the sign, but to knock on the door until she answered it was uncalled for. If it was an emergency, I could understand, but that wasn't an emergency. I've had people ring my doorbell and knock on my door, but I simply chose not to answer, especially if I was not expecting anyone or a package. I would not yell or be belligerent, as she claimed to be, but that's just not my demeanor. I know you can't get words back once you let them out, and because the original poster was concerned enough about her response to ask friends, and then eventually read it, I feel it's safe to assume she regretted her response. There was some sort of repentance or regret, which tells me she is conscious. I can respect that. Reddit's verdict is not the asshole, and my verdict was the same. Now on for the other one. I usually try to bring you guys 2 stories during these videos. We'll see which one sparks your interest the most in the comments you leave below. Am I the asshole for forcing my teenage daughter to go to church? My daughter, 14 female, told me that she did not believe in God about a year ago. Our family goes to church every Sunday, and she has taken to protesting about wanting to go. It is a family tradition that we all go together, so me and my husband continue to take her to church with us. Mind you, we attend a very nice, judgment-free, liberal sort of church, and nobody there is judging her for her beliefs, but we do ask that she sing the hymns and participate in prayers to be polite. She has come to me and told me that she doesn't like going to church, and that she feels as though we are trying to fix her, even though I have assured her that's not the case. We let her wear more masculine clothing to church, too, to make her happier. And if there are younger kids present who need to be watched during the service, the church pays her to do it. Our family has always been attending church as a way to feel closer to one another and to God, and I'm worried that it will split the family apart if she stays home from church. I cannot stress enough that we are not forcing our beliefs upon her. We simply want her to participate in family activity. So am I the asshole? There is an update, but I'm going to wait to read the comments first, and then I'm going to read that. Comment number 1. This past year, at 25, I put my foot down and wouldn't attend Christmas Mass with my family when I visited. My dad understood. We've always been close. Then my mom got in his ear, and he told me before going to church, what if I died in a car accident on the way to church? I bawled for hours they were in Mass. I don't know if I'll even go home for the holidays this year. Ouch, that was not the way to handle it, in my opinion. Comment number 2. I stopped taking my kids when they were teens, and they said they didn't want to go. We still talk about faith, generally in abstract, specifically my faith, etc. And I'm happy to take them to church, a synagogue, a mosque, a temple, etc. if they wanted to explore. I even have some Wiccan friends who practice regularly in a group, and would love them to experience that. I think they are willing to talk because I didn't force them. It's not setting up a fight, just a conversation. I don't get to decide their journeys. In comment number 3, I was forced to go to church every Sunday until I was 18. After that, I technically had a choice, but it was still a big fight and a guilt trip if I didn't go. I moved 2,000 miles away and don't see my family often. My mom still wonders why I won't visit more, but my brothers get it. They lived through it, but for some reason my mom wasn't as dead set on making them go as she was making me her perfect little girl. That last couple of times I went to church to humor her over a decade ago, I had a panic attack while inside. She refused to take me home and was mad at me for not letting her enjoy Mass. I think the only reason she took me home early at all was because her brothers and sisters started to notice that I was not okay, and she guilted me out of there. When the rest of the family joined us after church, she told them I had an allergic reaction. Gosh. Oh, I was going to read the update. The update was, "Hi, this is Am I the Asshole for Forcing My 14-year-old daughter to go to church? Anonymous." And I saw a bunch of people saying it was bait, and how weird it was that some old Christian woman was typing in all lowercase on Tumblr and off all platforms. A couple people suggested this was the 14-year-old daughter writing from the mom's perspective, and they were absolutely correct. I was trying to put myself in her shoes to see if I was just overreacting, as she often tells me I am. It's been so validating to read people's comments, and don't worry, I'm definitely not talking to her more than necessary after I move out. Just wanted to clear things up. Here are my thoughts. First, having the insight of this post not being from the actual mother, and instead the daughter, this bothers me a bit. It's kind of like the daughter is screaming for validation. Regardless, if this was a genuine post, I was going to say you cannot force a relationship with God on anyone else. They have to come to that conclusion themselves. My kids always went to church when I did, even the boys when my husband selected not to. So I don't have experience of this to really judge on it. They wanted to go. They enjoyed going. I can understand family togetherness, but I would never force my kids to go to church, participate in services, just so we looked a certain way, which is what I'm assuming the daughter was referring to. Seeing how she sees church as non-judgmental tells me it's more of a relationship issue with the mother than the issue with church. That may work its way out or not. Only time will tell. And I say that because teenage daughters are their own breed. You're going to have a conflict with their mother. Mothers and daughters have that time in their relationship where there's going to be headbutting and there's going to be a little bit of pulling back and one wanting to pull too much the other way. I've experienced it even in my own relationship with my daughter. It wasn't long and didn't last very long, but we never fought about our faith or anything like that. It was just little things. Reddick's verdict was, "You're the asshole." My verdict is, I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote because it was not an actual post by somebody who had a question. It was the person being affected who put it as a question, and I don't like that, honestly. I think that should be against the whole purpose of Reddit, but whatever. That's just my opinion, as always. And thank you for joining me. I do ask that if you have any Am I the Asshole Church Edition questions that you would like to ask, to send them to my email. I'll put them out there and let my subscribers and those who run across the video answer your question for you. I have a pretty amazing community, so we won't let you down. And I will let you guys go. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.